Okay, before I even say what I was gonna say, look at my hair texture, because this is a perfect example of my natural hair texture. Now look at this, and then underneath all of this, oh my god, there's this. It's like, it's deceptively thick. You guys ever think about how, like, I feel like in college, when I was studying to be a teacher, like I took psychology classes, and I remember taking, the psychology courses to talk about learning disabilities and things like that, and like autism and all of that. And I remember reading about it in my college class and remembering that the focus of the way they would describe it would be, inability to, you know, feel or interpret emotions, basically, like other, like, neurotypical people. And I'm like, that's such a generalization. That's not even accurate. Okay, it's about emotional regulation. It's not about that we can't express emotions or that we don't understand emotions. Actually, I would say that if you are on the spectrum, you probably have a lot better of a sense of the degree of emotion than others. Now, that's not to say we don't have issues, like, we have issues with emotional regulation. So sometimes, like, maybe our reaction didn't fit the situation. People interpret that however, but that's not at the core at all of autism. I don't feel like it is. And it's interesting because I was seeing some stuff on X about, I know, like, they talk about how they believe that vaccine or something causes autism and like this other stuff, but I'm like, this whole idea of being on the spectrum and being neurodivergent and that being kind of correlated in a way with intelligence in certain areas leads me to believe that this would not be something that would just come from something. It's research has shown that it is genetic, because a parent can have, or a sibling can also have, and that's a pretty clear indicator. Like my nephew is on the spectrum, like me, but my sister's not. So, I mean, no. I mean, you can't just be like, oh, this causes it. Like, that's not how it works. That's not how it works. And I'm surprised by that view, and I don't know where that idea or that narrative comes from. But I saw it and I was like, this doesn't make sense. Like, that's like saying dirty tap water causes bipolar disorder. I mean, maybe dirty tap water causes bipolar disorder, but probably, like, out of everything that could be, that's the least likely to be even close to the majority of the source of how a condition like that is developed. So autism has to do with emotional regulation, and I think autism is equally biological and physical thing as it is environmental, because I think that your environment growing up, if you had an environment where regulating emotions and talking about emotions with kids was not encouraged, then you're going to be very confused about emotions. So you're going to have that emotional dysregulation, but you also have some biological factors that quirks and things like that make it uniquely biological. For instance, my mom, I think, has sort of a tendency towards that. She's not on the maybe ADHD. She's like, and I'm kind of like a mixture, but she's kind of got like ADHD And she has this thing where she gets really excited and she goes like this with her hands. She gets all excited. And I remember like watching her do that. Like we watch a movie or something, or like something exciting would happen. My mom would get it. I just flipped my shoe off. She would like do her little excited thing. It's ridiculous, but it's like, it feels good though. It's like a rush of energy. But it's so funny because my nephew does it, and my nephew, that wasn't off of observation of my mom, because my sister doesn't do that. And so he just naturally was doing it. And I'm like, well, you know, that's a quirk, that's a thing, it's a biological thing. And he does some other types of stims that I remember doing when I was his age, and ones that I still do. Like when he's playing video games, like he his tongue hanging out. My nephew came over and I had set up the PlayStation for him, showing him Kingdom Hearts because I wanted him to play Kingdom Hearts. So he was playing Kingdom Hearts and he was loving it, and I was like, yes. And tongue hanging out, like trying to beat Tarzan. I just thought that was funny because it's like, so there are a lot of things that my nephew and I bond over, and my sister doesn't have autism or ADHD, but my nephew does, and my nephew is a lot like me. So, you know, there are mysterious things too, I think, to biological conditions and how they recur in families. So my point is, and then I went off on a whole Anne-Marie tangent about this thing about people blaming autism on vaccines, and I'm like, well, you can't do that because that's not the cause. The cause has to do with biology and heredity and that kind of thing. You can't just say, oh, it was like, no, I just can't believe that viewpoint, and I don't think that viewpoint is valid because it doesn't factor in everything else that goes into it. So, whoop, that's what I said. I said what I said. I said what I said.
Bye, guys.